Meanwhile, the men from different clans were gathered around a bonfire, relaxing. They drank liquor and feasted on meat. One asked when they thought the Tang clan would come to gather the honey. Another replied it was hard to say. 3 days ago, the Tang clan had been wandering everywhere, but now things had gone quiet. Someone speculated that the clan might make a move soon, while another gave a vague response that it could be. Another man questioned whether beehives could really be that lucrative. A man, slightly annoyed by the question, commented that he seemed like he'd been living under a rock. He explained that candles made from the golden-haired king bee's beeswax were treasures used exclusively by the imperial family. He assumed the Tang clan would only take the honey and leave, allowing them to take the remaining beehives. The men had evil schemes in mind for after the Tang clan was wiped out. Someone brought up the notorious poisoner, the 3 flowers of Murim. They decided to keep an eye on her to ensure she didn't die, enjoying the idea since she was a beauty. Their lecherous nature was apparent as they expressed excitement at the thought, even joking that one of them might end up as the Tang clan's son-in-law. But then they stopped when someone noticed a scent. It was a pleasant smell, and one of them thought it was the poisonous flower scent. They assumed her natural scent was as intoxicating as that. Suddenly, a loud noise interrupted them. They looked up to see something forming in the sky. They were terrified and confused, realizing it was a swarm of golden-haired bees. They immediately ran in panic. The bees chased after them, and they screamed as the bees attacked. The mixture creating the scent was scattered on the ground. It was positioned like a trail. Soryang, Hueun, and Wolfgang watched from behind the bushes. Hueun and Wolfgang were surprised it worked. The bees were heading in one direction. Hueun asked Soryang what he did, not expecting the bees to get furious over the scent of flowers. Soryang explained that he had ordered the bees to launch a full-scale attack by using a simple trick. Hueun was puzzled since Soryang had only crushed some flowers and fruits, sprinkling their juice around. Soryang clarified that the scent acted as a trigger for an attack order. He explained that pheromones are chemical signals used by animals of the same species to communicate, especially social insects like ants and wasps. They rely heavily on these signals. The pheromone Soryang used was the exact scent bees release to signal an attack, known as isoamyl acetate. Hueun asked if he meant that magnolias emit the same scent bees used to signal an attack, finding it fascinating. But Soryang was more intrigued by her ability to recognize the scent. Hueun explained that, because the Tang clan specializes in poisons, she was sensitive to scents. The timing was perfect. With the golden-haired king bees off on their attack, Soryang decided it was time to enter the hive and harvest the honey. They cautiously approached. Soryang brought a makeshift incense wrapped in leaves. Wolfgang warned that it was dangerous and offered to take the lead. They were all impressed by the size of the hive. It was amazing. The honeycombs hung like a large golden chandelier from the ceiling, creating a beautiful sight. Fortunately, the bees had left, allowing Soryang, Hueun, and Wolfgang to enter. Soryang noticed something peculiar. There was no honey at all. Wolfgang was surprised, inspecting the honeycomb and confirming it was just as Soryang had predicted. It was empty, which was unusual. Soryang realized there were no eggs in the hive either. Wolfgang asked if this had something to do with the hive being empty of honey. Soryang explained that the bees were preparing to migrate from the start. That would be why they consumed all the stored honey and carried it in their stomachs. He theorized that they sensed too many human presences nearby, prompting them to prepare to leave. Hueun agreed with Soryang's explanation that when bees prepare to migrate, they stop laying eggs as they can't care for larvae. Then Soryang noticed something intriguing. He spotted the back end of a bee. With a large grin, he asked Wolfgang how long he could maintain his mobility arts without rest. Wolfgang replied that by pacing himself and running steadily, he could last about half a day. Wolfgang inquired why Soryang asked. Suddenly, Pai appeared, reporting that the golden-haired bees were returning, urging Soryang to leave immediately. They quickly ran for it. Wolfgang advised Soryang to give up while Hueun rushed to his side. She grabbed his shirt and urged him to hurry. Pai panicked, telling them to get out quickly. Something was bulging from Soryang's chest. Time passed, and it was indeed a close call. Hueun was grateful they managed to escape before the bees returned. She couldn't finish her sentence as she got distracted, asking what Soryang had on his chest. Soryang's immediate reaction was to reveal the little bee's head poking out from his clothing. Soryang explained it was the queen bee of the golden-haired king bees. Since there was no honey, he decided to bring the one who could make it. Upon hearing that, everyone looked nervous and turned pale, beads of sweat forming on their faces. The queen bee made a cute bee noise. With a devilish smirk, Soryang told Wolfgang that the bees would soon realize their queen was missing and would start chasing them. Instead of being worried, Soryang seemed delighted, gently rubbing the queen bee's head.
So, friends, this chapter comes to an end. What will happen next? We'll uncover it in the next chapter. Don't forget to rate this chapter out of 10 in the comments. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.